Tom, broadcast time is going to be 6:25, 6:30 next week for the pregame?
About that, yeah, for pregame, yeah.
Okay. And good morning, Newton Falls. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Lynch. I'm the city manager, and here we are back again on September 11th with a live broadcast of our morning update. The last three broadcasts have been repeats because of the vacation time of the various parties that are involved in these broadcasts. Thanks again to Gregory Films for their fine work at getting these things up and running. Well, as I mentioned at the top of the program, today is September 11th. And it is a date to remember. You know, when people put on that uniform, they make a statement that is the opposite of what the rest of us are accustomed to. That is, when we see or hear about danger, we are trained to run away from danger. But the people who wear the uniform of police and law enforcement personnel and firefighting, EMS, and emergency personnel are trained to run towards that danger. And that's what happened on September 11th. And we remember those folks in a very special way every September 11th. Newton Falls may seem somewhat far removed from what happened over there in New York City. But the fact of the matter is that every time an officer puts on a police uniform in any city, community, village, or township in the United States of America, that person says, I run toward danger in order to protect you, the citizens, and the community, and your children, and your property, and your pets. These are very, very special people just because they put on the uniform, they put on the badge, they put that sidearm on, and they're ready to do battle on your behalf every time. And they may suffer the consequence. You know, it says in the Bible, no man hath any greater love than he that lays down his life for a friend. These are the best friends we could possibly have, our police and our fire and our EMS. And speaking of the sacrifices that they have made, in Cleveland today is the funeral of James Skirnovitz. And James Skirnovitz gave his life fighting to keep peace in our neighborhoods. Some people don't realize this, but James Skirnovitz was part of Operation Legend, a special operation initiated by the United States Attorney General sometime towards the beginning of July. And it's called Operation Legend because a little 4-year-old boy in Kansas City was killed by a bullet, the result of neighborhood violence right there in Kansas City. Tom, my audio is popping out, so we may need some more tape. In fact, we will need some more tape. In any case, this little boy lost his life to the bullet, and the bullet itself claimed the life, but the little boy's name was Legend. That was his first name, believe it or not. So what happened was the Attorney General's office initiated this new project, Operation Legend, and James Skirnovitz was a Cleveland police detective working as part of Operation Legend to bring safety to the 2nd District there in the city of Cleveland. It means a lot to me personally because I started my career as an assistant police prosecutor for the city of Cleveland, handling the cases out of the 2nd District. And in Newton Falls today, we remember Detective Skirnovitz, and at the funeral today in Cleveland, our own police chief, Gene Fixler, is attending that funeral. And one of the reasons is he wanted to make sure, and I wanted to make sure, and our city council wanted to make sure that Newton Falls was represented so that we had a way when people see the officers marching along in tribute to this this police detective gave his life. They saw the patch of the Newton Falls Police Department in solidarity to say, we appreciate you, we mourn your death, but we realize the significance of the sacrifice that you gave, Detective Skrinovich, and the sacrifice that every police officer says they're willing to give when they put on that badge. Well, we're going to change gears quite a bit here because some amazing things have been going on around town, not the least of which is 7 wins. That was 7-0 was our golf team of the Newton Falls Tigers. Yes, the Newton Falls Tigers have been going 7-0, pummeling, destroying, and completely obliterating their opposition. What an outstanding golf presence we have in the Newton Falls Tigers from Newton Falls High School. Also, we have some announcements that are on the crawl below, and I'm just seeing them right now, so take a look at them. There are various activities and meetings taking place all throughout Newton Falls, and we want you to make sure you see them and participate in them if you can, because we have an awful lot of positive things going on around town, and we want you to be aware of them. So congratulations to the Newton Falls Tigers golf team. What a great bunch of lads and what great things they've been doing. Well, you know, years ago at the beginning of Monday Night Football, Hank Williams Jr. Would begin with the phrase, "Are you ready for some football?" And man, I'm telling you, it is coming at the right time. And I'm happy to announce that Newton Falls Television will broadcast the home games of the Newton Falls Tigers football team live on Spectrum 1023 on Facebook, on YouTube, so you can watch it from the comfort of your home. And how do we do that? Well, we can't do that without outstanding talent in the booth. And that's why I'm so delighted to bring on the line right now John Batchko and DJ Robinson, the football commentary team in the booth. Hello, John. Hi, DJ. Good to see you this morning.
How you doing, my brother?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great. It's great to see you. Well, John, we'll start with you. John, you are known as Mr. Sports in the Mahoning Valley. How did you get that handle, and how are you going to live up to it?
Well, I don't know if I could live up to it, but I'll certainly do my best. I've got over 30 years experience, David. Youngstown State University basketball, football, first voice of the Scrappers, done tons of high school events, and looking forward to working for Newton Falls U and alongside DJ Robinson. It's going to be a lot of fun this year.
That's great. Now, DJ, you did the games last year as the color commentator, and you saw some sparks of brilliance with that team. They've got a new coach, but a lot of the talent is coming back. What's on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your level of excitement for doing the color commentary for the Newton Falls Tigers this year?
Oh, well, I'd have to say 1,000. It
was 1,000?
a blast. 1,000. It was a blast doing it last year. Being, with the schools previously and knowing a lot of the students, I can see that they're super excited this year. It's a whole new year under everything that's going on right now with the times of today. It's just beautiful to have football back and to be able to, bring the community together. Also, I'm very excited to work with John. He's got a lot of years of experience. I've only did it for 1 year, and I didn't think I did too bad, and I don't think a lot of people did either. So I'm just very excited to get in the booth, very excited to see football back in Newton Falls.
By the way, DJ, before we go back to John, people will observe you're wearing a police uniform because you're also a police officer for Newton Falls. So you saw the commentary at the beginning of the show. DJ, thank you for your service to our community. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, and we all appreciate it in the law enforcement community. It's a pleasure to be working for Newton Falls, and I do love everybody that I work with, and I love the town.
That's outstanding. Well, John, we're going to go back to you because after only 2 games, home games, and completion of the rest of the season, which is shortened, everybody goes into the playoffs under the new OHSAA guidelines. John, does that change the nature of the football? I mean, it seems like it's like going to Las Vegas and playing with house money. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you there. It's a good opportunity because, a lot of these schools don't get the chance to go to the postseason. Newton Falls will get that opportunity this year. By the way, if you may notice, I have Tiger Black on today in honor of the Newton Falls Tigers. And I got to tell you, David, it's a real honor too to reunite with Tom Gregory from Gregory Films. Him and I worked together City Series football for Time Warner Cable, and he was part of the creative group. And he just does top-notch, excellent work. And he's going to make DJ and I look pretty good in that booth. I know that.
Oh, that is a for sure thing. John, high school football also involves a lot of activity in terms of training and preparation. Having a playoff game be one where you're guaranteed to go, doesn't that sort of give the coaches a special opportunity to be able to, get all the kinks out in a way that you know that the game that really counts is that playoff game? So do you think that'll have a little bit different way of style change in terms of how coaches are coaching this year?
And by the
Well,
way,
I just
John,
think they
here's
were
our
up
trophy
against
from
it.
City Series football.
Okay,
Oh, look
all
at
right,
that! Look at that!
all right.
I love it. I love it. Blast
Yeah.
from the past.
That's your Academy Award.
I think they were behind a little bit because they didn't know if they were going to go or not.
Yeah,
Western
yeah.
Pennsylvania shut down high school, then they come back. Ohio was unsure. They were put on a hiatus for a long, long time. I think the thing is, and I think particularly for seniors, and DJ will agree with me, this is a great thing. I played at McDonald, and we went 10-0 our senior season long, long ago in 1980. And we didn't get to go to the playoffs because back then, David, they only took 2 teams.
Good
But I
Lord.
can imagine what that would have felt like as a senior getting an opportunity to go to the playoffs. And as you know, once you get there, it's anybody's ball game. You win, you go on, and it could totally take over the entire village and town of Newton Falls. Easy.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way we are. DJ, in doing the color commentary, what I noticed in watching the broadcast from last year, it gives you a special chance to sort of learn about the quality of the players and the idiosyncrasies they bring to the game because you're offering commentary on individual plays and individual players. Can you tell us a little bit about how the color commentary allows you to learn about the talents of individual players and how you can highlight them?
Absolutely. Having, the eagle's eye up in the booth, you see everything from the top of the field. Just being able to go and analyze, players coming in, coming out, going from, like different offensive styles, which they are changing up this year a little bit under the new coach. It's going to be an awesome thing to see, just the fact of going from one style to another one, and to see the kids that played last year going over to this new system, see how comfortable they are, especially with you didn't get a lot of practice time as much as they did last year, where like John was saying, I'm a McDonald alum as well, so we didn't go 10-0, my senior year, but we were knocking on the door at times, and to see Newton Falls run a similar style offense like we used to. And it's going to be really exciting to see. There's some players that are coming back from last year that
Sure.
are gonna just gonna turn a lot of heads this year.
Sure.
And
DJ,
with
DJ,
new
one of
coach,
the things that people commented on last year or commented on was the fact that the Newton Falls football team had a lot of talent, but they had some discipline issues. Let's be very honest about it. There were a lot of unnecessary roughness calls last year, but there's a brand new head coach. Are you expecting that part of the game to change?
absolutely. Seeing how the team was last year going into this year, Coach Lazari is going to he's going to go ahead and take care of a lot of the discipline issues. I think, in my perspective, just seeing him as a teacher, the kids respect him. Not saying for previous administration, but I do know that Coach Lazari is going to demand high respect for his players, and that they are going to be expected to go ahead and show that on the field. In which case, I think that a lot of the penalties that we had last year, a lot of stuff is going to be toned down. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be at least to a minimum.
Yeah, John, you've seen coaches that have a disciplinary attitude. Bill Belichick and some of the real disciplinary Tom Landry over in the NFL from a long time ago. Do the disciplinarians tend to be more successful as high school coaches as opposed to the softer approach?
I think disciplinarians. My dad was a longtime coach. You mentioned people like Tom Landry, Vince Lombardi, Don Shula. They were cut from that cloth, and they instilled a fear and a respect. And kids and players, and certainly at that level, they had some fear of their coach. They were afraid to lose, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
right.
If you listen to the interviews with these guys, today I think it's a softer approach. It's more of a committee approach. It's more of a buddy approach, which might work better in modern times. I'm not sure if a Vince Lombardi and a Don Shula would be successful today. For example, Don Shula never allowed water on the practice field. Now, can you imagine that today? Certainly,
Oh
we
my
saw with the
gosh.
situation with Corey Stringer with the Vikings, what had happened to him. So I think times have changed, and the softer approach is probably the best way to go.
You know, that's pretty ironic because Shula graduated from John Carroll, never allowed water on the practice field, but John Carroll has renamed the swimming facility after Don Shula. I don't know if you knew that. That's pretty,
There you go.
pretty ironic. John, high school football, because it's always a new team on the field each season, your experience is that there's a lot of surprises that develop in a high school football season.
Yeah, I think when you look at high school football and how it's evolved over the years, just like Peach and I touched upon a few minutes ago, the number of teams that are getting into the postseason has greatly increased. And I think what that does is it provides an inspiration for these kids. Hey, we got a shot to play on even further. And I love the way it's set up this year. You have to understand everything's fluid this year with the COVID. And I think the Ohio High School Athletic Association has done their very best to try to provide a high school football season. Because quite frankly, and DJ will agree with me, at the beginning of August, we really had no idea if we're going to have football at all. And so I think for Newton Falls and getting into the postseason, they got to be excited about this. And, next Friday they have the home game and everybody's going to be fired up. And we'll be there with Gregory Films, DJ, and I. And I can't wait to begin the broadcast. I'll be dynamite.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks to both of you. The broadcast will begin around 6:30 p.m. September 18th with a pregame that'll last about a half an hour. And I can't think of a more professional squad to have up in the booth than John Batcho and DJ Robinson. Gentlemen, I salute you. I thank you. And let's play some football. Have a great weekend, guys.
Woo-hoo. All right. You too,
You
David.
too. Thank you.
All right, that was the outstanding team of John Batcho, Mr. Sports, and DJ Robinson. DJ, who played the game as well as John, knows the game inside and out, and when it comes to Newton Falls football, knows the players inside and out. We are going to be in store for some outstanding work, and what's so exciting is no matter how those games go, they'll be great to watch. Tom Gregory does a great job, a lot of instant replay, drone shots of the stadium, a man down on the field to interview some folks, just all the things you'd expect in a professional production of a football game, but with always the hope of the playoffs, because we are in the playoffs according to the setup right now. So these games are a chance to get ourselves set up to maybe make some real noise. There are always surprises. In sports, they have, for example, in baseball and football, they have these things called the wild card teams. Teams that didn't have the greatest record but snuck in the playoffs. And every now and then, they win the championship. And something tells me that Coach Lazzari is going to make sure these young lads are ready. And the great thing is the OHSAA for the home games allows the band and the cheerleaders to be part of the process as well. And we have a great cheerleading squad and an unbelievable band under the direction of Mr. Semrau over at the high school. Great things are coming, folks. That game is September 18th, a week from today. Pregame at 6:30 on cable channel 1023 Spectrum and on our YouTube channel, Newton Falls Television, and also on our Facebook page. All live. Nothing being done in post-edit, all live, thanks to Gregory Films. Well, folks, that brings us toward the end, but not quite, because I talked at the top of the show about the outstanding golf program that we had in Newton Falls, 7-0 already this season, and we have a little bit of video related to the golf team from Newton Falls.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Howard. I'm the coach here at Newton Falls High School for the boys. We do recruit some of the girls to play with us throughout the season. We're having a pretty good season this year. We're 7-0 in league play and 7-2 throughout the total matches played. We had a great year so far, and hopefully tonight we can continue our streak as winning to go 8-0 against Brookfield today. We are playing a try match, so we have LeBray here with us, and next week we will have our league conference title on Wednesday, and then we have a couple more matches next week. So far it's been a great year, great weather, and hopefully these kids, a great group of kids I have here, and scores from 30s to 40s, and we've just been a great group of kids here so far. So hopefully we continue the streak and finish out inside the league of undefeated.
I'm Brandon Gibson. I'm a senior at Newton Falls.
My name's Caleb Howard. I'm in 12th grade and I'm playing for Newton Falls.
My name is Wyatt Davis. I'm a sophomore and I play for Newton Falls.
Carter Hufford, golfing for Newton Falls, grade 12.
Hello, I'm Emily Nutter and I'm in 10th grade and I play on the Newton Falls golf team.
Stayed in that two-ball circle. Collectively as a group, say, hey, that would have been it if that pin wasn't there.
Wow, now that is an outstanding golf team. You know, that young man, Caleb Howard, I just wanted to put the word out. Next time I'm involved in a scramble team, I'd like you to be on the team because I've got a feeling that young man can hit the ball a long, long way. And as you saw from his chipping in that little sequence there, he's got a good short game too. Well, folks, as you can tell, a lot of great things going on around town. And brings us to the end of our September 11th, 2020 broadcast. Please pause for a moment today and tell the good Lord how much you appreciate our heroes in the emergency services, our police and fire especially, and also a prayer of thanks for what they do, and that the good Lord will put his mantle of protection around them as they race towards danger every single time they answer a call. Well, as I mentioned at the end of all of our broadcasts, stay in touch with our Heavenly Father. And as I say always, God bless America and God bless the city of Newton Falls.